Another game, another series awaits you here at FSL VALORANT Showdown, and we are back here. It's gonna be exciting because it's Team really versus Team Whiff. Two captains, and the two actually have been like the teams that they were previously in. They were rivals, so I'm looking forward to see if the rivalry would continue on here at VALORANT Showdown.
Yeah, that's very true because they were the two teams, well, both captains from two teams that were trying to qualify for Game Changers Berlin. Yo, that's pretty spicy. I don't know what's like between them. I feel like it's all good because it's a wholesome community here. And
Definitely.
When it comes down to it, the thing about this one in this FSL Valorant Showdown, we're doing the round robin format. We've played through a lot of games. This is the last technically like one of the last BO3s before the grand final, right? And I'm just feeling like this is one of those that decides the second placement. I think it's, if my calculations are right, Alexi's team, Baby Girl, have already made it through. So
yeah.
Aurelie versus Whiff. Who do you think? What is it going to be? Let's find out.
Yeah, we are about to find out, of course, because well, given all of what happened, right, we're seeing a lot of Haven, Bind, and Ascent. This time, there were bans for those maps, so the map genies have heard us finally, and we are going to be seeing map 1, Breeze, map 2 is Fracture, and map 3 is Icebox. We've never seen any of these maps in the whole Valorant Showdown, and the last of this round robin is gonna showcase this.
Thank you. God bless. we got the maps. We got the maps, Donut. This is gonna be a fun one. Now, I don't want to jinx it. But if we could just not to be too greedy, but if we could just have some interesting agents, if we could go with like a Yoru on Breeze, maybe like a little harbor here and there. Yeah. You know, just maybe. Let's see. I'm not trying to jinx it, but then by saying this, I kind of am jinxing it.
Well, we have already prayed. One prayer has been answered. I don't really expect 2 prayers in a day to get answered, at least by the Valo gods and the map genies, but at least your wishes, their command, I guess? Because they have control over their agent selection, and only they can decide whether or not they have to choose the Yoru, whether or not they should give us the flashy plays. When I say flashy plays, all of the agent selection would have a blind, basically. An Omen, a Breach, a Reyna, probably a Sky. Flashy plays, literally, by just the sheer selection of the agents. If you guys can hear me.
Remind me not to get in the team with Donut.
Or Team really.
Yeah, it's either one of them. I don't know if like that is a really viable agent composition. Everyone has flashes. Oh my god.
Yeah, that would be annoying to deal with.
Super. Can you imagine the last player? I mean, like, you know, your whole team's alive, and then your enemy just has one person left, and you all have your flashes. And you just continue to keep flashing them, and again and again and again, and they're just I can't see.
The observer is just like 30 pure seconds of pure flash, but we're gonna be flashing the agent selection here onto your screens, and defending would be Team Whiff. With Little Polly selecting and hovering over that Sova, but we're not going to be seeing that much flashy plays, I think. Maybe from Eunice, KO, or Sky, and Ice Cream Sky, but not much of that flashy play that we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. But at least now Aneri is selecting a Cypher.
That's very interesting. I mean, she has...
Choose your agent.
There was that period with our FSL, oh my gosh, FSL Elite games like 2 years ago, when Alter Ego Celeste went for like triple Sentinel compositions. I feel like you would remember that, don't it? Because they did say that they were just messing around. They tried it one day, and they kind of liked it. They kind of like how much control it gave them. Just not having to worry about flanks, not having to worry about people bothering them on sites. So this is a really strong counter against Jets, against T especially, who has been playing Jet non-stop throughout this entire FSL Valorant showdown.
Yeah, and I think now it's probably if you were to go head to head, right? If it's a player versus player, you wouldn't want to stop T by just also selecting the Jet. You want to stop T by annoying her with all of that Cypher trap wires for sure. And I think that's the solution for Neri, to stop T from using all of those dashes. Neri solution, a trap wire, maybe a Cypher cam to try and figure out where they currently are, and then push forward just as Queen and Neri does in every game. But what we're seeing here in terms of that selection, the killjoy for Team Whiff is still a surprise, right? Because I think there has been a lot of debate on Cypher being one of the most picked or the most valiant Sentinel at the moment because of that recent buff or that balance that he was able to get.
That's right, especially on a map like Breeze. Your options are... I don't know if you would still go Chamber. I think he's still... not the best, but still viable. But when it comes down to it, it's either a Cypher or a Killjoy. But of course, if your opponents just walk up straight into you, and Eric's just going to pick you off. Already 2 frags to her name, and of course her teammates lurking behind as well to deal with any potential aggressors outside of halls. Yuna trying to find whatever she can. However, she gets blinded, sent back towards the back of Orange. Cherry Hips finally arriving on scene, on site. They're going to walk out together, trying to deal with this 2-on-2, make that a 1-on-1. The only one left is going to be Cherry Hips versus Kiki. Trying to find each other, making sure not to get caught out with abilities in hand. Cherry Hips, she's got a classic, and she's going to tag Kiki down. Pistol round goes to Whiff.
It was a great retake. It was a 2v3. They were careful. They tried to close in. One came from doors, another came from CT. And what they did was they made sure that all of these corners that potentially O'Reilly can actually secure, they would check. And once they figured out, okay, one peeked out, let's try one opponent after the other. And then when they did that, it's really basically a 2v1 in every encounter. That's why Cherry Hips was able to get in that clutch. But at the last time, of course, they had to find each other during that 1v1. And Cherry Hips there, a lot of time for the defuse. Now they can buy up. The Guardian is here for Cherry Hips, and T as well, with that Marshall getting the first kill there by mid. But she actually pushes forward, and she even takes down Key and Long, who is the Jet. Yuna as well. It's a clear, flawless round for the team of Whiff.
Incredibly well played. And now O'Reilly might just be asking themselves, how do we turn this around? They've got the full bias now, but they cannot afford to play the rounds like how they just did, just pushing out everywhere, especially when Whiff have the guns. We've got some Guardians, we've got some Spectres, and T playing long range with the Marshall able to dash away and in and out of hairy situations. It's going to be something that you have to really decide beforehand when you're trying to push in.
What's funny is she didn't dash away, she dashed forward, or she ran forward using the Marshall. So even if the long-range weapon is supposed to be used a couple of meters away, she can still make these kills. But Neri, with that first blood of this round, she's able to take down the first one through calls. Now it is an engagement here in the A site. Nong takes the first kill, and Neri as well with her second. Now that ult is online, you figure out where Faith is. Actually, no need for that ultimate because Neri has already spotted her. Ouch. She gets the third one, and Kiki with a cleanup against Cherry Hips. Standard win here because they got the buy. But what was great about that is the Sentinel is the one also getting the first blood, assisting with the entry.
And that's really one of the scarier things that Aneri can do, despite being a Sentinel. You know, she can still entry. I guess It's one of the I don't know.
Instead of a cloudburst, it's a cyber cage.
You know, similar functionalities, and if she makes it work, all right. But here comes Kiki now, taking the entry role back under her wing. We're gonna try to make some noise on the B side while the rest of the team take a look at what's happening on the minimap. Break into the A site. Inari just causing a little bit more chaos, a little bit more question marks right outside of mid doors as well. Faith has no idea what's hitting her. And just like that, her head's gone. The Seekers get sent out, and Yuna's trying to fight back. She knows where they are, but she's not going to have the timing on this, Donut.
Because the spike has been planted here.
Down one.
The Seekers are actually going to figure out where they are. One was destroyed, though, so Yuna doesn't really know where specifically that cipher is. Inari, she hears that drop down, she gets that headshot, but two are on their way from the doors. There is a kill here by Cherry Hips, uses the turret as a sort of a shield here, but anybody else, the blind comes in, and it does connect. Ice Cream is just dancing in between the pyramid. Inari takes the first kill, but too quick on her hips as Cherry Hips take her down. But there is no time, unfortunately, and she has to go out. 2 on 2 now.
That's that cherry pie, you know, you have those numbers, you know how to work against them, you know how to work with them, and even with someone as strong as Nary, you just can't deal with 2 players at once, not when they are split up and approaching from multiple angles like that. So 2-2 is the score. Of course, the spot going off, aiding O'Reilly in their cause, they're going to be able to buy back up. Whiff, on the other hand, not so much, Donut. They're going to have some sheriffs and marshals, a couple of specters. One Vandal, the one hero Vandal on Cherry Hips. Now let's see what she does with it.
What's funny is I expected T to actually buy up the Marshal, but she's gonna just get the orb and use the Bladestorm anyway. A better use of resource for them. They might get the win this time. So Cherry Hips does have the Vandal. Let's see if there would be kills here and there for her. There is one for Kiki, though. Faith is down, but from up above, Yuna falls down to the hands of Kiki. She knows that one is there yet again. She peeks out. And so close to her is Cherry Hips. And Nary as well gets another kill. But T makes sure to swat out that fly. Bladestorm is still online. She can get this kill if she gets the headshots. One after the other, but Kyle says no. Gonna be the third on the round. War. Oh, really?
Oh, really? When they decide to go in, they really go in. And that's what we're seeing right now. Even with a retake attempt, T trying to do what she can. I think she meant to dash Tailwind over to the other side, but they just didn't quite have the numbers. And that's all because the entire overwhelming forces of really broke onto the site like that. On to the next round now. And they're just going to be able to buy back up. Both sides trying to hold. I like what Whiff are trying to do down middle. Take a look at that.
Yeah, they want to push up, but Inari is so ready for that push. Immediately uses the ultimate and then the cyber cage to try and give her cover, but Yuna sees her through the cracks and gets the kill. A 4v3 though, very doable. Faith is blinded, but I think all that did was just retrieve information. But what they don't know is actually 3 of the members of Whiff are coming through that part of the site. Ice Squim is down as she peeks out. And even the kills here for Cherry Hips leaves down 2. Nong is actually here. Cherry Hips peeks out Kiki. There is just gonna be 1. There are lineups probably by Kyla here.
1 enemy remaining.
But woo, a crispy headshot with a flick there. But Faith, what will you do? You will just push out. But Kyla is so in the ready with that clutch. And I don't know if she's gonna die to the spike. She does.
Not to worry though, I guess, because they have been winning the past 3 rounds now, counting this one as well. And that's just how Team Whiff can play, truly. When you have an area on the lurk, it just buys enough time for the rest of the team to make their run to site. Of course, then it kind of falls onto Kiki's shoulders. It falls onto what's that? I can't read. Nong's shoulders. Excuse me. Kind of forgot. To break into the site themselves, and they are capable of doing it as well. And this is what we love to see. Kind of sharing these responsibilities. Of course, coming down to Kyla getting the post plant plays as well. Now pushing up front though is going to be Nom with her blade storm up front, closing personal. She takes T's life, looking on to the next poly under a lot of pressure, just caught by 2 angles.
And Yuna is going to be there. She only has a classic though, so what she will do is use that blind first, but behind her is actually an Neri. 2 quick kills. How fast could a Neri move? Even not using the jet. She actually pulls her way up through that rope so quick that I didn't even notice that it's possible for an area to go up and get that kill.
Last player standing.
Rotations are fast here. And at that point, right, you know with the Marshall, the lot of heads that she has to really target, which one do you prioritize at the moment? And I think now O'Reilly is here to overwhelm, and that's been their case ever since round number 3 happened. They overwhelm the sides, they all push together, but T has a response. She makes sure that she takes down 1. If we are going to be overwhelmed, let's make sure there's -1.
Yeah, 4 players is a lot less overwhelming than 5. You know, it's just 1 number, but it still is a thing. 3 would be even better. However, O'Reilly are just going to continue pushing forward. I can't believe this. Look at what Anari's doing. Jumping off to the top. Her team falling right behind her. Yuna's trying to catch them behind though. Sends out the Seekers. Just trying to stop them and slow them down, allowing for Cherry Hips to feel a little bit more comfortable on the side itself. And now Anari gets caught out with the tripwire in their hand. Yuna and Cherry Hips working in tandem just to push them off. 3-5. It's gonna be Whiff with a win.
Yeah, that's great also, because they did not wait any longer. If they could have let the team O'Reilly push to their post plant positions, then it could have been a round loss, because it was even odds, right? It was 4v4. But at that point, they figured out where they were and they tried to hunt them down while they had their backs turned. That's great. Timing is everything. And Whiff, they get the first round on the board after 5 wins, and I thought that was a collateral actually, because in her sights there were 2, but T only gets 1, and that's a headshot against Kiki.
Small exchange. It's one that favors Whiff. They have the information, they have the numbers, so they don't need to do too much. However, Anari's applying pressure onto Cherry Hips. If she can get her, that would have been the B site, but unfortunately Cherry Hips holds her own. This is impressive, and now O'Reilly is faced with a conundrum. They have to make some moves, they have to push up front, and they are actually going to do it thanks to their own toxic screen, thanks to the tools that they're finding, pushing up into halls now. Kyla! A triple out of nowhere! The only player left is Yuna, and she's stuck on the side, forced to look up onto 2 angles, up on the top of bridge. She's trying to fight back. Oh.
There is the snake bite. I don't think it connects. And Yuna at the perfect time. She peeks out. She gets it to half. Gets the operator. Runs away with a clutch. I think that's a big win for Yuna.
Super big. And that is just, again, you know, we were talking a little bit about this before this entire map started, before this entire series started. We love the FSL VALORANT SHOWDOWN. We love our team captains, but we also love seeing all of these other players stand up, and Yuna is one of them, topping the scoreboard, really close to Anari. And even Anari's team, in Team O'Reilly, her teammates are doing a lot as well. Now the Seekers, they're trying to go in with an execute.
The Seekers are gonna give them information, but a little bit too late as the follow through here. Nong is gonna experience a lot of damage from that snake bite, but she is still out for the hunt. She knows that the Sova is there, but Yuna spots her out. You can't be sly with me. Yuna even gets a second one. Uses the Seekers, uses that blind as well to try and figure out where they are. All of those are destroyed, but at least they at least know where they currently are. And there's the drone as well, confirms.
Enemy remaining.
Blind comes in, and that's a little bit of a bully right there.
Whoa.
Kyla is down, and as well as Ice Cream melted. And after that 5-win streak for Oh Really, they also get their 3.
Yeah, starting to figure out how to play around this momentum, how to play around this pacing. Just getting a sense that perhaps it is going to be this full-on rush. Everyone rotates over. Everyone doesn't give a moment's time to think. And when they arrive on site, when everyone's together, they are just surrounding the entire squad of Oh Really, making sure that they don't even get the chance to set up any post-plant positions. And that's the main reason why they're able to get these retake scenarios so successfully. On to the next round, though. It's going to be T once again with the operator. But Kiki spots her out immediately. This time, no early round aggression for you.
Yeah, and usually it's always T and Kiki head-to-head in these first bloods, right? It's an operator versus a vandal, but this time Kiki wins the fight. And now they have overtaken the A site. 2 remaining for Team Whiff. The other one is Yuna, the other one is Cherry Hips, and Mary, they're aiming down sights. Cherry Hips does respond with a kill, sprays them down the nose. Can you actually shoot through that wall? I'm not too sure. But she did try
you can.
bullet.
She did try one bullet. It didn't really get that wallbang kill. I think it might have done a little bit of damage. But of course, at the end of it, it was just how they all went it together. And this is the teamwork again. This is what ultimately wins games. And when you have it down to a T, it kind of works out. T's going to buy up an operator again, though. Not discouraged by the previous feat. So now we're off to a 5 and 6, the last round of the first half. Let's see if they can make this a 6-6.
This time it's Nog, though.
Oh,
She peeks out. It wasn't a kill. It was actually little Polly here. As she wanders around elbow, she gets a kill against Kiki. Venery's just waiting. If you push up, Polly, then I might get you. Rotations have come in as well for the team of Whiff. Little Polly here with that forward position. She gets the second one. She doesn't get punished just yet.
Wow.
She gets away with murder, and she knows where the spike is. Now they're circling in on the team of Oh Really.
Oh, look at what she's doing.
They try their hardest to retrieve the spike.
I love what Polly's doing in this scenario. This is so smart. Because by pushing all the way through, down and past elbow, down and past cannon, she ensures that there isn't a single player outside of 8 caves, outside of middle. In fact, she knows that they are all down towards it, and she just manages to eliminate all of them. An ace for Lil Polly.
Well, Lil Polly gets that big win and that big ace. Basically, what she just did during that round was she pushed forward, tried to garner information, not just by utility, by her own body. She gets the first kill, she pushes up further. She knows that a rotation is possible for the team, for the team of Oh Really, and then she just stops everybody else. That was a great play there by Polly.
Yeah. I mean, I think it all starts with like that little bit of game sense. She knew that there would be someone trying to peek outside of B main, and then she just timed it perfectly in a way that she would win that duel. Once that happened, she was behind enemy lines and she did whatever she wanted. But here we go. On to the second half. We have Neri feeling a lot more comfortable as her Cypher in her element with her trips and traps and everything on the site. But oh my goodness, Polly just swings onto her. Neri not quite able to react in time, or the shot just not quite landing. Now the rest of the squad arriving on time, but all the post-plant positions are already prepared. All they need to do is to peek out, peek together, get the shots in, and tap in away. It's gonna be Faith getting the win for Team Whiff. The pistol round is theirs.
Lil Polly in her element after getting that ace, right? Must have been a huge flow of excitement to try and push out towards the site. And you eliminating Inari, not just Inari, of course, the Cypher, that Sentinel on towards the side, just gives you full freedom to push forward and not really give a care as to who else is there. And then now that happened, even during the post plant, right? All together, they peak one by one. It's as if they have a symphony, and they really call out when they are gonna peak. This time, Kiki is gonna be found out by that Trailblazer, and T makes sure to get her out of the way. It's always gonna be a T and Kiki duo at the first part of the round.
Just be glad it's not Marquee casting, because then you have Key casting Kiki. Anyway, into the round. It's going to be a tough retake scenario given that they just don't have the guns. So, Whiff cleans up pretty simply. Of course, there was a little bit of scuffle. They did what they could, but I believe Whiff managed to survive most of it. The way that they decided to actually take first point of contact through the mid doors is what made the difference. Everyone else was allowed to follow through from Kate.
That's true. What else can you do, right? If it's a 1v4, there's a lot of pressure. For sure, Inari has played the Cypher before, but we've never really seen her play this agent a lot, right? When we look at her stats, it's always going to be the Jet, always going to be a duelist for her. Not too sure if she's not in her element or she's just really giving her teammates a chance to shine as well together with her. At this point, T, so quick to try and get through Hall. Now she even knows where Nong is. 2 kill. Tries to spray down Kyla, and now she's down. But the one to shut her down is actually Inari. Yuna is so low. She's gonna get caught between the crosshair of Inari for sure. And Inari is left all alone. She's gonna see Polly first. Potential ace for her.
Good.
As she takes down 3 at the moment. Tries to find where Faith is. But there is. She's been spotted out by that turret. It's gonna be annoying. There's another shot. They know she's close. But all they have to do is be patient. Use all of the utilities against her, and Faith ensures that Harry is down, and they get 9 here.
And that is incredibly masterful plays from Inari, but still the patience on the side of Team Whiff. The way that we had Faith working against her. It's just smart because Inari is doing the whole high-level player thing of trying to anticipate, trying to read and predict as to where her opponents could be positioned, and she goes out to clear every one of those positions one by one. What Faith did, though, is in all that time, it's kind of like hide and seek, made her own moves, went through the crack between the 2 pyramids. It kind of hurts them at the end, and now T just pushes all the way up front, even gets a quick flick onto the right, taking Nong away. Kyla going in for a bit of a trade of her own, but unfortunately she's just not going to be able to do all that much with the classic. Kiki and Neri arriving on scene. They have some guns. Let's see if they can actually stop this.
Ooh, there's a quick kill there by Kiki. 2 versus 2 now. A Guardian and a Vandal again. Knows so well where Faith is gonna be, and as they push forward, Cherry Hips, that ultimate is you, and somebody is waiting to deliver a kill. It's gonna be Kiki here, and once that diffuse Q is on, she peeks out, and just standard duo plays. Kiki delivers a thrift.
I love that rhymes. Thank you so much, Donut. And this is, you know, it kind of just looks like Team Whiff might be able to take this win away from Inari, but just when we thought that, my goodness, the 2 sharpest players of Team O really come back into play. And it's just this approach of going in for that retake, going in to approach your fights from where opponents least expect you, and playing off of each other in rhythm. 9-7, it's just 2 more rounds before we even things up, but my god, we are buying out the big guns.
Yeah, we've seen Nong play as a Cypher, as a Killjoy. Now she is the Jet with an Operator. How flex can you be? She gets the... Ooh, there is a kill now, as the trips are actually set up for her. And Kyla, that's too far of an approach there. Cherry Hips shuts her down. And now they call for a rotation. What they don't know is Kiki is set out here in mid.
Just waiting for it. She sees the barrel, the bonnet, gets the headshot, the beanie. Just instantly dissipated away. Of course, following up next is going to be Inari continuing to anchor down the site, catching any stragglers. Kiki dealing with the final player, and that's going to be Faith, still trying to cross over onto the A site, but the troll just drags you back down. It's going to be 9-8 Donut.
This operator might be the X factor for Team O'Reilly because they lost 3 rounds in a row, if I'm correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, was it? No. Not
2
2 rounds
rounds
in a row. But they lost to 3 rounds. Now they're getting the rhythm of that retake, and as well as how they would try and be forward during the defense. And I think this operator into play might be a contribution for maybe a 9-9 for Team O'Reilly.
maybe. It is a really threatening presence, and you can see that Team Whiff are just trying to avoid it at all costs. Seeing that, okay, the sound's off, it's up towards cave, they're gonna approach it from multiple angles. They might not have the best guns, but they're gonna try to do whatever they can. In towards halls, though, Inari comes back in, and she's just going to catch them in the back. Triple kill already. Cherry Hips with a Guardian, the only one left, creeps up on towards halls. Well, I cannot tell you if Inari anticipated that, but she reacted on point.
Yeah, on point. It's as if it was like she was surprised that somebody was there, or at the same time she was just so ready. I also love the assistance from Ice Cream for Inari to get all of those kills, because they had their eyes set on halls. The doors opened, they all back away, but they all had their own angles. And what happened was, Ice Cream threw a guiding light, and it allowed for Inari to actually push forward, get the angle that they couldn't see, and get the kills. The team play is also showing and shining bright here for the team. Oh, really? And if you're an attacking team and your defense is strong, then it's gonna be hard. Kiki in this forward position, she is gonna get punished there by Cherry Hips.
I've got your trail.
Tempting to pull off a bit of a lurk, but it doesn't work out this time. With pushing together now, a bit of a default, if you will, and then going off of the aggression once they get their early pick. They know they have numbers, and they want to overwhelm the B side, but Inari making it close, making me nervous, getting a quick double, drops the spike, and all of that information has been gathered. Ice Cream slowly approaching up from top. She hears those footsteps, just needs to find and align the headshot. We'll be able to collect on it. We're back to even odds, Donut.
2v2, but Ice Cream is actually injured, but not broken for sure. What might break them is this lockdown by this Killjoy. It's gonna buy them time, for sure, and time is ticking. They need to push forward. Once that's down, of course, they're gonna push forward, but they're not gonna acknowledge Little Polly here. There is the kill. Ice Cream, she takes one down, and there are no Killjoys to activate any of those. There's a shot ball, misses, but she gets away with it. She gets away with the win. She knows how far away Polly is. She dies, but she gets the win anyway.
This is kind of funny because although it is not the two team captains, Polly and her team, especially her teammate Muffin, did this exact same thing. Whenever Inari and Alter Ego Celeste were trying to play post-plant scenarios back in Game Changers APAC Elite, Muffin would just stick the defuse without caring for any of these post-plant lineups that might come way. So Ice Queen sticking it like that, it's a little bit of revenge. 10-9, I love it. We're moving forward.
Ooh, Kiki.
Okay, Kiki's moving forward.
Now she has assistance from Inari though, but that's gotta be quite scary for Team Whiff, because the Viper does have the spike, and the rest of the defending team, they're so far forward, and Ice Cream with her bird in her hand, she's gonna get taken down by T.
To my world.
Out! Ooh, Inari missed the first shot, did not expect Cherry Hips to be there, but Nong is out for that revenge kill.
Now knowing that there's a Viper's Pit up, they have to respect it. Still a 3-on-3. The attackers, they have the advantage. Kyla, though, taking out Faith and now deploying her own Viper's Pit. Polly, just gonna be careful about it.
So close.
Waiting for the tap. She hears it, goes in. Oh, Kyla! A quick flick, a quick swing, and she is feeling happy about it.
It's a nod, an affirmation of how great she is. I thought at some point, usually when you get a clutch, you'd hear from your teammates, nice, and then she says yes, and she knows that she outplayed Polly there in that situation. She used her Viper Spit. She pushed a little bit forward, but not too far forward that she would go out of her comfort zone. And at the same time, she knew when she was defusing, she had her eyes set on where Polly could possibly emerge. At that point, she was too quick to get the kill as well. Great play there for Polly. Kiki, how many times has she gotten away with this? I thought there was going to be a second kill. Little Polly was there to ensure she doesn't get the second.
We'll find out in the end game screen. These first bloods. But here we go. T's trying to answer back as well. They want that mid control because they want that maneuverability that it provides. Of course, though, really have pushed out. Now it's going to be Kyla in a bit of a tricky spot because she does not have the health. So it all falls onto Ice Cream. She has quite a bit of utility to work with. Her Guiding Light coming back in about a second. She might have 2 opponents to work against, but all of this will be able to help her. Sends the first one out, gets the confirmation that there is a player to her right.
One enemy remaining.
Finally spots it too, as they peek out into her, giving her the duels. It's a bit of a one-on-one, and she was able to make it quick enough to survive. And just with that, we go into match point. The cookie crumbles, and it is delicious.
That was such a great way. I mean, top it off with ice cream, right?
Yeah!
So
That's
sweet.
what I was thinking about.
I mean, all of these ladies, they have their chance and moments to shine. Kiki always delivers with the first kill. And at some point here, ice cream, every time she peeks out, it's like it was made for her. It was like fate for her. But at that point, of course, Kyla as well, with all of these bursts of brilliance, and Nong with her operator. I just really love these types of plays, and little Polly and the rest of her team, they have to figure this out because it's already match point. They want to go A this time. And what they're up against, probably the Seekers, but T, with the first blood against Kyla, now it's an uneven playing field.
Oh my gosh. Going back into it, they're finding all of these trades, and just because of Kiki's position, aided by a Neri now, but they have to be very careful because the trades again with they're playing off of contact off each other, just narrowing down the odds. And again, still going in for some peaks. They have to be so careful about it. It's 2 opposite angles, but Neri's more than capable of flicking back to back. Yuna just going in for those strafed shots, ducking in and out of cover. She pushes her team to a 10-12 donut.
Yep, they're trying to stop that win from happening, and surely they can, but it has to be slow, it has to be secured, and I love this play here. How can you get one of the top players of APAC to win, to lose a duel? Then let's peek out. It's like a whack-a-mole at that point. But once you miss, then another one would peek out to try and distract you. I love that play. If you want to displace them, then go ahead. Kiki gets another first blood for this round. Yuna is down.
Oh my gosh. She was one of the top fraggers for Whiff as well. This hurts their advancers, their chances. So they're trying to be a little bit more reserved about how they want to take these fights. But look at what's going on in Hall. T, Lil Polly, they're all feeding into Kiki. And on top of that, Kyla now, who's been hiding here for the longest time, springs out like a big bear trap. 13-10, a flawless win to close out Breeze. Not what I had in mind, Donut, but a welcome win nonetheless.
I was gonna ask you, like, do you believe in miracles? If you have faith, then you can win it. But I think at that point, yeah, they didn't have it. Kyla just made sure that that potential stop their win is also, I mean, be taken advantage of. At that point, everybody else was closing in. It was the last round, and do you expect the defenders to actually push forward? Not really. Not really.
Not really. And I swear, you know, looking at this, all right, Team O really, I think they're the closest ones. Of course, they still have to make it through the rest of this best of 3. But looking at the number of first bloods, the scores, the kills, they are trying to compete with Team Baby Girl. And Neri dropping a 30 bomb as well. But not quite as many kills as what Alexi has. Kiki getting 7 first bloods. That's how many times she got away with that.
Even T, like during her defensive positions, she would actually she would actually position herself forward, but after the kill, she would get away with it either with that tailwind or an updraft. So basically they're head to head, and whenever they would do first buzz, I'm actually curious to see what the stats are for like the duels against a player in a map. How many did T have against Kiki, and how many did Kiki have against T?
It's just so close to it, but that is what we have for Breeze. I think we saw a lot of interesting fights, a lot of interesting approaches. Very different, which is my favorite thing. Very different from what we've seen for the past 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
The multiple maps. I'm not even going to count how many maps. It's like five series. I love that Anari's, you know, trying out, flexing into a different role, letting her teammates shine a little bit, and letting Kiki, you know, find a lot of these interesting fights. Nong as well, dashing in and out of times. We're going to move on to our next map, Donut. And that is going to be, I gotta check real quick. It's gonna be Fracture.
I'm so excited because you mentioned it, right? 5 best of 3s. We've casted Bind, Ascent, and Haven. And this was a breath of fresh air, right? Because we were in Breeze. Now, are we gonna see at least broken bones for a team Whiff if and when O really gets to get the win and take that spot for the grand finals? Well, let's see. Before that, we will take a short break. We will be right back.
And welcome back, folks, to the FSL VALORANT Showdown. We had the breath of fresh air that we so desperately wanted onto Breeze. And then we're going to move forward into a different map, a slightly more chaotic map, perhaps, onto Fracture between the two teams, Whiff and Oh Really? Which Oh Really is it going to be today, Donut? Because, I don't know, it was kind of close. I could actually see Whiff maybe taking a win away.
Well, I think it also is a selection of Team Whiff. I mean, Team O really picked Breeze probably because they had the good composition, the player composition for it. Because if they're gonna give Inari that Cypher agent, then Kiki will step up, right? But now Whiff has selected Fracture. For sure, they picked this for a reason. They had a lot of time. Probably after these games, they practiced for a little bit, and they just found out that maybe Fracture is their second love or third love versus Ascent and Haven, which is mostly picked by these teams.
Yeah, and that's where it kind of gets a little bit confusing, perhaps. I mean, both teams really know how to play all of these maps, I think, but considering all the other players that we have in our midst right now, you know, with Yuna and how she was playing incredibly well earlier on, Nong even, T with the way that she's finding a lot of these duels, Kiki, of course, maybe still going on the Reyna, we shall see. How do you think they're gonna be able to work their way around these maps? Because I'm really curious as to seeing like what the controller pick will be. I don't know how harbor works on Fracture, but I'm kind of hoping for it. Maybe not the best, maybe. But also, you know, just our team captains, really, because they've been kind of swapping around the roles a little bit, letting some of the other players shine. I guess we'll find out because we're heading right straight into Agent Select.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I want to see Polly back in her true nature, being the main controller of the team, and we're seeing it right now. It's gonna be Brimstone for little Polly, but on the other side, I think Nong has the most flex picks in this whole showdown. She is now the Brimstone for the team. But at the thing that we wanted to find out is if Inari will actually choose the Cypher yet again. No, she's gonna get on that Raze and Kyla as that Sage. So a little bit of an interesting pick here for both of the teams. And now that we're in another map, the selection changes. It depends on the need. Do you need more of that support? Then O'Reilly would pick that Sage for Kyla. Kyla did have a lot of these amazing moments, that clutch moment as the Viper, and now that she's a Sage, for sure she'll use most of that ability to either support or use it selfishly, like the walls that we've seen earlier on in Ascent, right? I'm looking forward to see most of those creative plays for Kyla. And at the other side, would be Team Whiff. Of course, little Polly being the natural controller that she is, and Inari now pushing forward. That was quick. And Faith here is going to be left in a little bit of a tough situation because there will be now 3 people, which she actually eliminates.
Okay.
2 down for Faith and 1 nearby Polly as well.
She got tagged out by our teammate. Just want to point that out. But main thing is that we have the final 2 players, Kyla, along with the Brimstone player. I kind of forgot what the name was. There we go. Nog. They're rotating over onto the B site. They've run out of utilities, but they kind of have the timing on this. So they just might be able to set up some interesting positions around it. Maybe able to catch off, you know, maybe a couple of 2 or 3 players, being able to put themselves into a 2-on-2, maybe a 1-on-2 scenario at the end of it.
The good thing about this is Faith is very low, so if they take advantage of that, that might be a win for them. But now, 3 people peeking at Kyla. Yuna takes her down, and Nong at this point runs out of bullets. And the spike is being defused as well by T. It's gonna be hacked, and that orb is gonna be given to Yuna. 4 more, and she has a showstopper. Early into this round, she gets 4 orbs. That's gonna be scary now for the team of O'Reilly. Look at that.
I guess that's the thing about Fracture. You know, you gotta remember that this map is split up into 4 sectors, 4 ultimate orbs to play with. I think that's why it took them so long to actually rotate over. They were probably collecting up on those because they knew they had the numbers advantage. The way that they peeked into poor little Cherry Hips all on her own outside of B main, B tree. She just couldn't deal with 3 players peeking her at once. So on to the next round now. Oh, really? Slowly going in with a bit of a B split.
There is the comp, but paint shells will drive her away. Smokes here for little Polly just to buy them a little bit of time. But the tower has been compromised and running out of bullets would be that. The kill comes from somewhere else. Kyla is going to be seen through the wall, and Ice Quim left all alone. It's going to be a flawless round for Team Whiff. No casualties. None of their Spectres have been dropped, so this is going to be a healthy economy for them for this round.
It's flourishing, and they just might be able to win out this bonus. We shall see. We shall see, don't it? It's very interesting because I feel like Team Whiff know exactly what O'Reilly are trying to do. A full send onto the B site, and that's why you have to do this on Fracture. It's 4 sectors, which means a really tough map to control, and it allows for defenders to always push out. There's always some part of the map that isn't being watched, and that's what they're trying to do now, play around drop.
At this point now, Yuna uses the showstopper. This is her opportunity
No!
to make an explosion. She does. Takes down Ice Cream, but Kyla and Nong, they respond. Little Polly Spectre is doing all the work here. Takes down 2, leaving Inari all alone. The spike is in the middle. The haunt is there. She destroys it before she's even noticed. Little Polly is just peeking and jiggling, confirms where she is. The Prowler is even a distraction for her. Destroys it. Reloads. Another Prowler comes her way, and as she peeks out to the right, Little Polly with that quick headshot. Now a 3-0. This is the reason why they selected this.
Without a doubt. And I was talking about it too, right? Playing around drop like that, Yuna had the showstopper. She was just waiting for the right time, prime time, to pop that off. Kind of whiffed on the satchel though, but still managing to collect on all those kills. Now the main thing is Inari in that final moment was almost able to win on these duels, but Polly threw down the gauntlet. Polly was begging for her to peek into her, was begging for her to take the fight head on. And then, of course, all of those Prowlers just annoying her even further created that much pressure. On to the next round where O'Reilly will not be able to buy up. This is what I was talking about, the bonus round. Whiff, they have it.
With all of this into consideration, right? Faith hears everything. She knows that there will be a split push here towards A. Good thing a response of a smoke is there for Little Polly. And everybody else is here. Little Polly is just doing a little bit of a deathmatch treat here towards Heaven. Uses that orbital strike to try and stop the plant. Nong here on the side sees Yuna, and Yuna decimates them. Little Polly gets the 3rd kill, and it's another flawless round here, Quack. Can you believe it? Twice already in 4 rounds, they have a flawless round. I mean, I know it's inevitable for them to get it if your opponent has a lower buy than you, but we're talking about Nong here. We're talking about Inari, Kiki as well.
It's a little bit uncharacteristic of O'Reilly to perform like this. You know, with that many flawless rounds, Whiff now have an economy that can sustain them for 2, maybe 3 more rounds. So that is why we're seeing Inari now just finding that confidence. She knows this all too clear. She cannot be discouraged. You have to go in aggressive. And she's already getting that quick triple kill. Her team enabling her, encouraging her. Everyone following suit. Nong getting the headshot onto her counterpart. Polly gone off the roster. Faith, the only one left, taking all the way the zip line through to the other side. Into the unknown. Is this going to pay off dividends?
Not too sure here. Kyla is out for the hunt. Wait, she sees it and she gets it. It's a flawless round in return here for O'Reilly. After that bully moment that they've received, even during their bye of the 3rd round, they get their revenge and get a 4-1. And Inari here just really picking up the pace for the team. The first 2 kills, okay. But the 3rd one, after she just switched from the knife, good recovery for her. Now they get the first win. They do have the orbital strike to work with. It seems as if they're grouped up here towards B, so they're plotting out where the smokes will go and the potential orbital strike. And early on, there is a kill there by T. Arena with an operator. She gets 2 kills with that quick scope. Even Inari gets 1, but C is unstoppable with a scoped weapon. Not until Inari gets a 3K. It's a 2v1. They don't know where Faith is. They've dropped Spike. They make sure that there is no flank. What they don't know is Faith is here, waiting for them. And as you slow down, there might be a kill by Faith, but nope. Kiki says, "We're all in this together."
Hand in hand.
Yep.
I forgot the rest of the lyric. I never watched High School Musical. But yeah, it's really being in it together that makes the difference. even how O'Reilly won in this round. We might have had T popping off with that operator. Really amazing. Using the dismiss like that. Basically infinite dashes as long as she gets the kill. When you have the rest of the team, Anaria especially, pushing out from the other side as well, coming in from bench, coming in from arcade, it's just way too much to think about. And this is how they're overwhelming the site again and again. Ice Queen with a little bit more support just to block off anyone trying to come in from attacker spawn. T taking her down. She will be able to survive thanks to the null command, but that operator is so pesky.
Yeah, but at least Kiki destroys her from behind. I'm sure there's nobody who's gonna threaten them, but little Polly and T still get the kills.
Oh.
And here we go, 2v3. Kiki gets cherry hips, and thankfully that smoke is gonna give them cover while the lockdown is gonna get into play. 8 seconds, there is a blind. Oh my gosh, Kiki's trying to destroy it, but Ashley goes out. There is a chase.
Wow.
And the kill, the duo. Little Polly though rises
she's got
to
no
the
time.
occasion, but no time to defuse the spike. Now really they get the third.
That's just such a courageous play. Laughing in the face of death, not caring, not being scared. To push up front to deal with the lockdown. Polly just trying to be ever so careful about it, just begging for them to push past that sky smoke of hers. But they refused. And henceforth now it's a 3-4 scoreline. Oh really? Just challenging Whiff right back at them.
Such a great way as well. I mean, little Polly, she gets the kills. They don't have the win, but that's a great punishment of economy. The fact is, oh really, they're really stacking up that money, but at that point, great executions to try and bring that economy down. Because that could be a solution, right? If O'Reilly is always going to be buying up, then a way is to eliminate them and ice swim. At least there is also that damage against Cherry Hips. She's so low and there's no healer for them. Neri takes them down and T is just waiting here. They might not know that T is already here. Nong is destroyed by little Polly through that box and Kiki's just waiting, but from all angles, she is seen and she takes on those bullets. Immediately after the 3-streak win of O'Reilly, Whiff gets their own.
And that's such an impressive win as well. The way that they were able to prevent the spike from getting planted so quickly, prevent everyone from pushing in so quickly. It's all down to the hands of T and Polly. Everyone working together with all the utilities, all the positioning kills that they've gotten. That said, having won 3 past rounds in a row, O'Reilly get to buy back up in full. And it seems like it's going to be a full-on 5-finger death punch onto the A side alone. The only one here was Faith, and she has been quickly dealt with, quickly dismissed.
You are dismissed, Faith. And now it's gonna be a tricky, because look at the post-map position. Looking at the mini-map, 2 are placed on site. Another one checks on the flank, and it's gonna be a Neri to check on T. She will make sure that there isn't anybody else there, but Polly strikes back, puts Nong in her place, and Yuna, unfortunate for her, she had that gadget on her, but Neri didn't have to use a showstopper though, but she used it anyway. The cleanup is not just by Neri. She triggers the first kill, and then the rest were just a symphony. It's not on the violin. It's Ice Swim on the flute.
Ooh. The winds section. And it's so apt as well, aptly put, because that is really how they're working together. Everyone playing their own instrument, their own vandal, their own toolkit. And it all works out. It's a classic strategy, but aided by so much in difference of style. And there again, the tip of the spear, trying to pull off a similar thing, just on a different site. And she's that much more confident now, knowing that her opponents won't be able to buy up.
And in the symphony, you could really hear Inari as the percussion. She's the one really hitting up that tempo. She's the one setting up the pace, while the rest actually follows her. And it's music to our ears when we see all of that come together, right? We saw a flawless round from them. Now Ice Squim uses that null command to try and stop them. Neri throws in that paint shell. There's the drum. T actually just moves back with confirmation of kills here and there. 2 left for Whiff. It's a full band here. O'Reilly just takes down the team of Whiff, but Lil Polly knows well enough that there might be a push. They have to go for exits at this point, but bullets through that smoke puts her down to 20 HP and a flawless round for this band. It's amazing for O'Reilly.
Yeah. Merry band of musical bandits. Just the way that they're able to go in and plant the flag on the site. Of course, it is just an anti-eco round, but they did it relatively flawlessly. And you know, now on to the next. They have managed to build up yet another bank. It's going to be T with a heavy investment now. An operator trying to replicate previous successes.
Oh, that doesn't get a kill?
No, went all the way to the back.
Oh well, there's the party. But Faith is still here. She's not moving a muscle, as well as Polly. She smokes up that entry point, and she makes sure to push forward. She still has the orbital strike available for her to use. Once she hears a sound from there, she might be able to use that, but she uses her Vandal instead. Now uses the orbital strike. That's gonna deal a lot of damage, and she gets the kill from that whole orbital strike. Ice Squim uses that to get the kill, and then Faith responds. That orbital strike kill, I thought it was gonna connect at least, but she does it with her bullets anyway.
It's just to kind of throw them off, if you think about it. Polly, this is what she really wants to do, is to gun them down, to prevent them from entering the site. And that's why having her on Brimstone as a controller, which is, by the way, her main role, back when she was playing with Accent Sapphire, if I'm not wrong, she is the one who really prevents opponents from breaking in so easily. And she knows the timings of all of these utilities. Now back onto it, it's down to the last round of the first half, and O'Reilly are trying to make this one count.
And they want to do it fast. Kiki's going to use the Rolling Thunder to try and displace them, but T is ready there with that operator. She is going to overheal. Yuna is just ready with a pain shell just in case they hear that planting Savage. Neri takes care of them. Throws in pain shells of her own. Does a lot of damage towards Cherry Dips. Even sees here Yuna, but Yuna's the one to tear her down. With an orbital strike, she survives with 50. And it's a 1v2. Well, make it 1v3. There is the rest. Just as I said it, right? Kyla just uses that resurrection.
Oh, they're sticking it. They are sticking it. That plant is down. Nong made a little bit of a peek, though, and that allows Rina to find a frag. But a sudden swing from Ice Queen, something that Yuna was not quite prepared for, turns the entire first half down to a 6-6 donut.
Yeah, 6-6. That's usually what we see, right, for these ladies. Earlier on, I think we saw a 9-3. It was the map of Haven, if I am correct. Then now it's a 6-6, just because I think the first 5 rounds, or the first 5 rounds of Whiff, was mostly O'Reilly trying to figure out what they were doing. They were trying to download all of these strategies that Whiff has been doing, and O'Reilly with the response, right? Do they play quick? Do they stand their ground? Do they rotate all of a sudden? Then what they do is overwhelm them. At this point, I think there were a lot of pings on the map where to smoke, and then they
Oh
will
my God.
explode. Another explosion is here towards arcade. Kyla is being overwhelmed. She gets one at least before she goes down. Valiant effort for her because she knows that there were a lot of pistols. She heard it from that wall. And Kiki here with this defense. T breaks down the first one here towards tower. Confirms that the site is clear. Little Polly as well takes down Nong. And Inari is
Spike
just waiting
planted.
for that peek. Throws in that paintshell. Destroys the Prowler. But nobody else is peeking.
Especially Faith. Oh, but she peeks all of a sudden. This is information for Inari as well. She's got so many players to consider. A target-rich environment. She managed to flick onto first, then falling to the second. Kiki getting a trade as well. Pushing out the fault line. She has not that much health. So it's going to be Polly that ends it off. Winning the pistol round. Again, this is a little bit tricky for O'Reilly, especially now that they're on defense.
Yeah, I mean, how Whiff has done it is they swarmed the whole site. From the main entry point of B towards arcade, not even a wall could stop them from pushing through. Kyla just put up that wall, thought that it was gonna be a sense of comfort for her to stay behind it, but it was just destroyed by Team Whiff. She goes down with one, but one isn't enough. If you are being swarmed and overwhelmed by Team Whiff, then you have to at least go down with two if you're the anchor of the site. Look at this. Team Whiff, they're waiting. They're expecting a push because, oh really, they have nothing to lose, right? They have to lose. They have nothing to lose but this round, yes. But in terms of their weaponry, they don't really have enough. The call is correct. Nothing there in B. They stacked up B. Now they have all rotated towards A, and they might have guessed correctly, but I'm not too sure if all of these pistols are enough to contain the specters of Team Whiff.
They managed to read and gather the correct bits of information, though. They know it's going to be an A hit. Only thing is, will their guns be enough to subside? The rest of them entirely blocked off by the smokes. Right on top of Raptor, so they're not able to get anything. Kiki pushing out close. She's trying to find something with a classic. No right clicks for her today, and none. No headshots for Inari. Faith just comes in and peppers them full of holes. It's going to be an 8-6, Donut.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to what Inari saw, everybody else was dancing around her. It was cherry hips, like dancing around. Hips don't lie. Shakira. But,
Shakira.
but also, like, a lot of them were jiggling, so it was kind of hard to try and find a real... And who, at this point, are you gonna really set your eyes on, right? Any head will do, but if four are in your way, who do you prioritize? Is it gonna be Dancing Cherry Hips? Is it gonna be Yuna? Or little Polly here, who has just gotten a quick headshot, a quick tap against Kyla.
And she just keeps on rolling. The top fragger of this entire server right now. It's gonna be Ice Cream trying to fight back, but not for long. Everyone's here and ready to play, though, and that's the one win that O'Reilly can work with. Just trying to time it carefully. Nong able to get the first.
Launching smoke.
And at this point, Inari's just waiting for the rest of the teammates for this retake. Zeller kills for Kiki for the first one, but they were all just destroyed by Polly. And as well as T there, just waiting for them to cross. And that's a great post plant there by Team Whiff. And I think at this point here, Inari, she was waiting behind that smoke. You know, these alter ego things. Okay, let's just all hold hands together and then just opt for the retake, pounce when the time is right. But at that point, of course, that synergy hasn't really been built with O'Reilly, so waiting for your teammates. The calls aren't as pristine and as clear as you would expect them to be, so there is a disadvantage playing with newer members, right? So I think that's really more of that. Inari, it's her strength to tap on heads. but it has to be supplied with information. And at this point, because of Fracture, it might have, because this is Team Whiff's pick, it might have really maybe kind of dampened their morale. They've been losing a couple of these rounds, but because of Whiff's solid energy as well, so probably that's the reason why.
Yeah, there's just a lot of factors into play, and it's really damaging Aurelie's momentum. I'm hoping their confidence is still up, but at the end of the first half, starting off at 6-6, now we're at a 9-6. It just means you've lost a lot of your rounds, your bonus rounds, and everything. Whiff will have an economy to work with now. Meanwhile, Aurelie are just struggling to keep up. So it's going to be a little bit tough, and I don't know, there could be some technical issue that's dragging them down. At the same time, just want to give a quick shout out to our observer, giving us a great and brilliant bird's eye view of the, well, not bird's eye view, but a high up view angle of the entire map. I never noticed that before about Fracture. I mean, I knew it was two like different biomes, but you can see the exact fracture, the exact line that separates the two parts. It's kind of nice.
Okay. Thank you so much, dear observer. Well, look at this. I mean, the buys that they have, it's really scraps at this point.
Exactly.
But how would you use it? How would you make the most out of it? I love that wall from Kyla, but will it be effective? You think they just have to run away because there is a lockdown, but Neri is still fighting till the last second. She's gonna get detained, but she's still safe. But that lockdown, it's just all a confusion for them. They all immediately rotate towards A.
Neri knows.
And Neri knows.
She reads them like a book, but she's here alone. The rest of her team, one straggler behind. Oh, what a shot! As Faith ran out in the open to get the spike planted. Getting a first, a second, a third! Paige shells off to the top, pushes T down off to the stairs. Kyla trying to take a duel onto her, and Neri now dueling her. Running out of ammo though, it's gonna be Ice Queen onto her shoulders. T's down so low, but pushing out at the right time, not discouraged, not scared, fearless. A wallbang headshot at 6 HP.
What a round! First of all, the 3 kills of Inari with the Sheriff. She just had this angle. She held it at the last possible minute. She went down to T, but at that point here, T responded. She was so low, but she did not have any care in the world. I have this mission. My mission is to plant a spike or even kill you. And she answers, she delivers. Now they have 10. And the gap, it's further away from each other. We started off with a 6-6, but at that point, right? Usually after the bonus round, Teemo really, they deliver. But it might be too late because it's 3 rounds away from a win for Team Whiff.
I do feel like that previous win might have been a make or break it, but Aurelie seemed to be confident still, not backing down. And Neri has her showstopper and everything at the ready. She wants that kill. Taking T away out of this world. 2-on-2 now, and Polly is trying to be reserved about this. She knows her nemesis is nearby. Taking down Nong now just makes it that much easier. Zaneri is so low. Getting tagged by the Nightfall too. She gets the first headshot. Anticipates what next? What? Oh my god! The Prowler still, and she flicks onto her head. What is this? Donut! What? Oh, what did I just witness? Get out of here. Oh my god.
All that Inari needs is just to see a part of your body and she will get the headshot.
That was just a glimpse.
The first kill with that showstopper, she was blind. And even that second one, she pushed forward. She knows that if she pushes, she will be decayed. It will be a disadvantage, but no. She knows her strength. It's her aim. It's her duel. She wins it every time, even in this pressure situation.
It's players like that, you know, being able to perform under that high pressure circumstance. T did it earlier on, and Neri's been doing it since day one. It doesn't matter how much health you have. That's just a number. That's just a statistic. If you know you can get the kill, you go in and you get that kill, queen.
It's funny because she was 1 HP with a decay, and then all she thought to her head is, well, I'm number 1 too.
Oh my god.
So that defied that stat. Whether or not I'm 1 HP or just 1 tap away, I can still do this. I have the confidence to do so. Those are just amazing plays there. Left us speechless. Even that previous round wherein she got 3 sheriff kills, all headshots. Actually, a bit rooting for her to get the 4th one, but of course T shows up when she's needed the most.
I'm just so... Oh my god. Still playing that back in my mind. That said, though, it's just 10-7. That was just 1 win, right, Donut? There are still 3 more rounds to make this even. And with Whiff being at double digits already, it's also 3 more rounds for them to close out this entire map. They get to buy back up, and that's the biggest factor in the rest of this of these rounds. Whiff has built up an economy, and meanwhile, oh really, they have to be a little bit careful, you know, and that affects their confidence. That affects their strategies going into these plays. Yuna, okay, what is she doing?
Well, I think she has a plan. She's just gonna be using a judge for this one, for this round. And also the Spectre for Faith. So it might be explosive. They also have the Showstopper, so maybe instead of the judge, she is gonna use her rocket. Orbital Strike available for them as well, so Inari's gotta be careful about this. Polly's gonna be the first one to peek out, throws in the paint shell, but wants to escape because she hears everything else. 1 ultimate gone. 3rd one popped up by T. It takes 3 ultimates to break down an Inari, that's for sure. But Yuna is just waiting here in this corner. If she sees even that sleeve of that Sage, then she's gonna be out for the kill, out for the hunt. Ice Cream knows that she's there.
Okay.
Gets the headshot. Good redemption story, but Nong gets the kill anyways with this Guardian. Faith is left all alone.
Placing swamp grenade.
Do you believe? There is a kill, the first one with the Spectre, but an eventual trade by Ice Cream. She melts Faith away. An 8-10 now. Earlier we doubted that 4 score gap, but now it's just 2.
I know you had faith in that situation, Donut. But unfortunately, this time, logic will still prevail. I do love what they were attempting for, though, especially with Yuna on that judge. It's bang for your buck, and they were able to nail down an area. Once that biggest factor is disabled, the rest of it seemed to follow. But that is when some of these other players step up, and that's what we've always wanted to see in this FSL Valorant Showdown. Props to Ice Queen, and now on to the next, as she just might be that first point of contact for her team on this B site. Oh, it's gonna be Kiki instead.
One comes in, and the second kill for her. There is a lockdown, but Inari makes sure to destroy it. She's actually rushing forward. Yuna is gonna be there to guard it. I didn't really believe that Yuna was the last player alive. Everything was so quick. Kiki gets 2 kills. The second one, little Polly was blinded. And then the eventual 3 kills by Inari. Sweep.
I love how he said it's eventual. It's like we can't stop it. As long as Inari's here, we know something's gonna happen. And what happened earlier on in that round was that the river ran dry. They just didn't have the guns. Again, confidence for O'Reilly. Now back onto the next. Whiff buys up, looking for the 11th win. They have the utilities. They have the plans. Just trying to start this B split push. Oh, what? They started pushing out of A. They started pushing out of dish. And all of a sudden there's a little scuffle, bringing us back to a 4-on-4. But still now, the main point of contest is going to be bench. Kyla is the wall that stands between them and the site itself. Unfortunately, she gets overwhelmed by the paint shells. T pushing up front. Ice Queen now, though. Second point of contact up to the top. Aneri trying to do what she can with the paint shells, too. Not quite getting the headshot now as they both swing upon him. It's going to be Yuna all the way down from under. Where the ropes were, where the past pushes were, and she's gonna get the off angle onto the final player.
I was gonna say that in terms of what Team Whiff has thrown O'Reilly's way, the composure of O'Reilly was there. But the moment that Whiff did strike, it's as if that there was no utility in response to anything else that Whiff was throwing. It was more like they were a bit passive. They were waiting for them to cross through and get on towards the site before they did anything else. And it was too late to use any of that utility. Now at this point, Kyla as well is caught by Yuna. And Lil Polly gets her own kill as well. So Neri's just waiting here with that bulldog. She's gonna use that showstopper. Showstopper v showstopper, but it's Lil Polly that she kills.
Okay. Well, Faith kills her in return, so back down to a 2-on-3. If anyone had to do it, I think Aneri had the biggest opportunity to turn things around, but now that she's gone, heavy lies the head that wears a crown. It's going to be the rest of these girls, Nong as well as Ice Queen, to push up from the backsides. Places that might not be expected as Yuna falls down to the ground. The rest of them all the way inside of A main. It's not even really lineup that they're trying to play for. Just trying to spray through the smokes, but it's not quite planted for them, not unless they have the angle. And Ice Queen trying to do what she could, but at the end of it, just the early frag to kill the spike diffuser.
Those pings were miraculous for the team of Whiff. They did not play with any of that utility for the pro slam. They just wanted to make sure that they killed everybody else through that box. And Cherry Hips with a final kill. And now it's match point. Team Whiff. They're showing why they chose Fracture in the first place. And Lil Polly and T, they're the ones shining for Team Whiff.
My gosh. It's incredible. Polly, T, even Yuna at times. This is going to be that match point round, the do or die moment for O'Reilly. Because they need that economy, they need that win. If not, that's just the end of Fracture. Trying to position themselves around, though, they sense that lockdown and they feel so trapped, claustrophobic, and sent back packing.
There is that resurrection available for Kyla, but it's so far away and it's being guarded now by Lil Polly. If you attempt to resurrect your queen, I'll be here waiting. That's not even possible anymore because Cherry Hips, she caught Kyla. And it's just now down to Nong. That's a lot of responsibility. To win 2-0 or to get 1-1? That is the question. Now Cherry Hips will make sure that Nong is down and Team Whiff, they get this Fracture map.
Right from under our noses, Donut. It started off incredibly well. The first half ended really even, and then just going on into the next few rounds, we had Whiff rolling on forward non-stop. O'Reilly tried to fight back. They won a couple, but until the end of it, it just wasn't enough.
And Lil Polly now, she's got her 30 also. Actually, during the defense, she showed a lot of that that prowess that she can actually, like, she's in her comfort zone. She gets all of the kills. She pushes through the smokes of her opponent's Nong. All of the sky smokes. She doesn't even bother. She knows it anyway. This is my agent. And now she gets that 30 bomb. And Neri close with 28. But what we really have to praise as well is the team effort with T,
Yeah.
Yuna, Faith, and Cherry Hips as well. Because without that clutch from T that really broke down
Oh my gosh,
Ice Quim.
yes.
Also that duo ensuring that there would be no stop to their match point, right? That's amazing play from Faith and Cherry Hips.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, even the assists on Faith right now, that's 13. The final round, they kind of won it because there were so many of these rounds with her lockdown just blocking off so much, making them feel as if, like, I can't breathe. I've nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Which is a voice line, by the way. But it's kind of in one of those scenarios where you might feel okay when you're low HP. You're definitely not okay when there's a looming threat of being detained. So, well played by the entire team of Team Whiff. Now, moving on to the next map, though. We're going to have our wish, all different maps. It's going to be Icebox, the last one.
Well, we're looking forward to that. Is with Fracture being such a hot map, now we are gonna venture into the cold. But before that, we are getting into a short break. We will be right back.
After getting our wish to explore different maps, we had Breeze, we had Fracture. We are here now, finally, in the last map of this entire series, Icebox. Hey, I'm Quack, and this is Donut. What's going to happen next between O'Reilly versus Whiff?
A lot, actually, because we did not expect Fracture to go in the way of Team Whiff, right? Given the performance of Team O'Reilly in the past few series that we've casted, this time, I think they did practice in the map of Fracture, because they won't really pick this map so unknown to them. I think you sang, you broke into a little bit of a song, Into the Unknown, earlier on. That unknown has been decoded and deciphered by Team Whiff. This time, we are gonna get into the decider map, which is none of the teams banned Icebox, so it means it's gonna be in their map pool. And I think both of these teams, they have a lot of experience in this map. It's mostly now merging all of these knowledge together and ensuring that if it's their first time playing together in the map of Icebox, what will be the roles? Where will you be posted? And which agent are you going to be selecting, right?
Yeah, and that's a very big question mark in all of our minds, because Fracture definitely did look a little bit more rehearsed for Team Whiff for whatever reason. Maybe they actually did like go into some rehearsals, but you know, onto Icebox. I'm actually completely clueless. I don't know how this will go, because we've seen a lot of agent swaps back and forth. Some previously on duelists, now onto controllers, maybe even sentinels. T, who was always playing Jet on basically every map that we've had, went onto Reyna and was still able to perform incredibly well. Onto a map like Icebox, you know, we've seen a lot of more optimized compositions with the Viper, with the Sova, your Jet, your Sages. I don't really know what to predict anymore. All we can think about is perhaps how some of these players will perform.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to put Nong here at the platform of our discussion, because Nong, she's been selecting different types of agents
Yes.
each and every time there would be a game. It's not necessarily a role that she embodies, because at least, okay, you can play 4 different types of duelists, or at least 4 different types of controllers. But no, for
Different roles.
4 roles, actually, she's embodied. She's been a sentinel. She's been a controller. She's been... I'm not too sure. Has she been an initiator? But she's been a duelist for sure.
She has.
And this flexibility from Nong, but she shines all around. It's as if she just has a grasp of this game. And I love to see that come to life with her duo with Inari basically. And I think we've seen bits and pieces of that, especially in Breeze, right? When it comes to Nong as the Jet and Inari as a Cypher, supposedly the roles have swapped, but they still make it happen. They still make it work.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing for me. Is when you might not have had the most experience or the most practice on an agent, but your team just kind of requires it, so you fill in that role, and then you can still perform. And it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, cool! I didn't know that I could do this. And Nog might be one of those players, maybe not, but I love what she brings to the table. I love how flexible she is and how she was able to show us Cypher on day 1 and day 2. Today, she's showing us so many of these different colors as well. And we're just going to get straight into Agent Select to see what these players are going to finally pick.
Well, Faith, her signature pick is going to be the Killjoy, and she does it anyway. I actually peeked at the chat now. She has a lot of supporters watching her.
Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, Faith has been doing so well, especially when it comes down to these clutch moments together with Cherry Hips. Lil Polly is gonna select the Jets, and against that would be Nong, but Inari is gonna be a standard pick here. T versus Inari, Nong versus Polly. It's actually a similar pick, so even the Sova for the initiator. Ice Swim is going to embody that role, Yuna is going to select the Sova, and Faith against Kiki. I'm quite surprised. Kiki gave up the Reina role to Inari.
Yeah, and it's not Inari on Jet, which is an agent that she played a lot of in the first 2 years of FSL and Game Changers. Still, it has to be said, this is a complete mirror matchup. Both sides having the exact same agents, but now some slight differences in style. You can definitely see Polly opting for that sort of sniping style as opposed to going up front and personal. Of course, that is what she will do as a duelist on the defender side. It comes down to O'Reilly and how they really want to approach these site hits.
At this point, though, Kiki, she's been amazing as the co-duelist, but first blood goes to Inari. Little Polly dashes away to safety. There's the overheal for her. That's why she is pushing forward. No holds barred, but Polly is there to actually get the kill. Faith as well for the defense. Throws down Kiki, but Yuna gets the first one. 2v2. 2 are low for Team Whiff. But Nong
One
is
enemy
just playing
remaining.
around with the smoke, trying to figure out where they are, but she does get the kill. Ice Squim and Nong do all of the lifetime. In terms of the attack, first blood goes to Neri. Pretty standard, but you know Polly has a lot of fight in her. She instead goes to the back of the site instead of actually just pulling back and waiting for her teammates.
Yeah, sometimes that is what you need to do. And she attempted it, but unfortunately it was still O'Reilly being able to win out in a lot of these duels, and that's from the teamwork, the positioning that they had. Just tagging down the players to low enough for the rest of them to finish it off. Here we're going out into the second round, and a surprising strat with the pistol train down to mid. Choo choo. Kyla hears the footsteps though, so the entire team of O'Reilly are fully cognizant of this.
That's why I think they figured it out. Even the Viper's wall it was set up from there, so they all fix their eyes towards their spawn. Ice Cream throws in that shock bolt. Damage has been done, and the kills are going to Winary as she peeks out. She's out for more. She even gets the fourth one, and now that round is done. They overwhelm Kiki and towards the middle. But at that point, once they figure out their positions, they all gaze their eyes on getting these kills, and Inari just snowballed all of these. If you're lumped together, then you guys are gonna get thrown.
You have to say it, didn't you, Donut? It's the snowball, because it's a nice box. Here's the thing, though. Okay, Inari having Empress on round 3. I know it's like kind of at this point it's just like, oh, she's doing it again. But it's just, it has to be said, it's an anti-eco round, but she got 4 of those kills. Now she has her Empress and she's in a position to do even more damage. Yes, everyone on Whiff has a full buy, but we have to be ever so careful. What? Did they just shoot through the toxic screen and all of a sudden 2 players drop dead? What is going on, Donut? And they continue to push up front, not giving them the space to work with. Kiki has no choice but to back off. She only has a Sheriff, but had no idea that Polly was going to strike her from behind.
They did not expect T at all. You thought that if he had a curtain over there, you wouldn't see me. Then that's not going to be the case. They actually sprayed them down through that wall.
1 enemy remaining.
Some amazing plays there.
It's either just luck or the fact that it's one of the more common angles, common positions to pre-fire just to check. You know, lo and behold, you actually get rewarded for it. So it's kind of weird, but hey, at the end of this now. Wait, an Aaron? Okay, there we go. It's like down to 3 seconds. She hadn't bought up yet. I was getting concerned. But here we go. They managed to buy back up, and it's going to be the full-on push back onto the A site.
Neri's been revealed by that recon bolt, but she throws in that leer anyway. She is not gonna swat out Yuna on the side, and Yuna just cleans up shop. Everybody else that crosses and comes her way, she destroys. Now it's an easy 2-2 here. Team Whiff, they're making it happen. They were just really stuck on the ground there. They didn't move a muscle, even with all of the leers. Nobody got tempted to overpeak. And Yuna just got all of the kills.
I've been pretty impressed with Yuna throughout this entire tournament. She is kind of flexing-ish as well. You know, she's been playing the initiators, she's been playing duelists at times, and she is just having the time of her life in some of these positions, especially when Inari just, you know, shoves right into her like that. Onto this round, however, it's going to be the Hunter's Fury back-to-back. Yuna actually connecting 2 beams. And 1 player down onto 5 HP. However, paying attention to the map now, it's a bit of an over-rotation. They're taking their time, and it's going to be really trying to swarm their way over this entire A compound.
Spike planted.
They have the site, they have the spike planted as well. And Yuna, she's just playing a little bit back here. Neri has her Empress up. She is gonna get tagged. But she knows so well that she doesn't really have the best weapon for it. She needs 1 for her to overheal. But Yuna actually destroys Ice Queen with just a shock bolt. Neri takes 1. And T as well is now down to the skill machine. And Neri takes down 2. Dismisses away. Fourth 1. So sick. What are those flicks?
Oh my god. I'm crying, Donut, I'm crying. I shouldn't have said she just needs 1. And she really did. She really just took the 1 kill. Because of the Empress, topped herself off, overhealed, and found every single kill from there on forward. How does she do this? How does she do this? 3-2 now, and we have to move forward.
Yeah, I was just blown away by all of those kills. Even this one, taking down Polly from up top. And now Inari is still pushing forward. Cherry Hips knows too well that there might be danger. She hides inside of her smoke.
Cherry.
And Cherry Hips is able to take one with her. Inari just looking to play, looking for her, but Cherry Hips figures out where she is. Ice Queen. She tried to fake a plant here, but Cherry Hips, she's not hiding. She even gets a quick tap against Ice Queen. What a clutch there by Cherry Hips. And look at her, she was the last one remaining. But what she did was, It was just really more of a form of survival for her. Where do I go? How do I survive this? I'm gonna hide inside my smoke. Catch the queen first. And then nobody will follow.
No one. It's exactly like you said, you know, surviving. It wasn't just the way that she went through her smoke. She kind of made use of it, dismissed it away, and wrapped around yellow, the place where they least expected, because they thought it was clear. On to the next round, though, and it's going to be Yuna now, up front, close and personal, just trying to block off this choke point, trying to set up a barricade. But unfortunately, up top, it's not going to be enough. They don't quite have it. Not unless they continue to peek into this, and Cherry continues to wall bang through. Kyla finally managed to take her down. Faith managing to sneak in, though. They set the corner that they don't expect. An easy swing with the Spectre just turns them into Swiss cheese. A clutch, if I've ever seen one. 4-3.
This is it. This is your time to spam your copy pasta, Faith fans, because she has just gotten a clutch. Both of the team members have really worked low, but still, right? She just figured out. She heard all of those footsteps. She knew when and where to peek. And at that point, I think the timing was right for her. The moment that the spike was being planted, she knew one would be vulnerable. And then one would be looking the other way. She took advantage of that, and now in Aerie, she's using another one of these Guardians, this one-tap machine.
Oh my god. I'm thinking back to it again, and I just don't want to. She's too good. She's got too much Riz. Moving forward, though, again, she goes in, gets the first tap, dismisses away, but here comes Cherry Hits dancing all over the graves of her enemies. Kyla answers back. I know all the Kyla supporters out there are just rooting for her team. She sends out the snake bite just to block screens off, but T comes up from behind. Kyla, she has to do it now. Just the pressure is on her. But Faith just relieves her of her duties. You are gone. It's going to be a 5-3 donut.
A great way to try and defend as well. You can see even if both of these teams, they have the same composition, you would see the differences in terms of playstyle. Right? You see Polly pushing up. You see Aerie, of course, leading the charge when it comes to the push. But the attack as well is sustained by Kyla and as well as Kiki there. But at the same time, when it comes to the defense, right, the ones posted up towards the back but are the ones who actually deliver the kills are Yuna and Cherry Hips. I love that you said that she actually dances on top of the grave of her enemies, because she celebrates that. She likes those types of wins. Little Polly here, she's out hungry for the kill, but Aerie is there to try and shut her down. Immediately, though, a quick 3-4-1. T spots them out. And at this point, Cherry Hips is also down. T is the one left. There's a nano swarm that's thrown in her way. She doesn't have bullets in her magazine, so that's why Aerie will shut her down.
I just turned into like those old school arcade games like Time Crisis or House of the Dead. You ran out of ammo. Reload. That's what I said. Yeah, this entire round is really tough given the fact that some of them didn't have some guns. Some of them just weren't quite expecting this push of all things. And now T with the only one left, unfortunately, they weren't quite able to outduel it. And I think that's what it comes down to. Aerie has been awakened. The demon inside her is alive. And now the rest of them have no choice but to cower and run and hide. T, she's going to try to do something about this. She pulls off an Empress of her own and she's looking for some heads, but Aerie, that crown is mine.
She has another Empress online as well. She has been tagged by that, so it's going to be quite a challenge for them. Faith, she blindly sprays through, does a lot of damage actually, but little Polly is there trying to shut them down. No Empress, no Aerie. for the
Oh.
queen to save them, and Yuna will just spray them down.
Just enough damage, and sometimes that's what it takes. When you have that many players, that much utility, especially with the ultimates,
Last player
Hunter's Fury
standing.
coming in from Yuna, it tags them down low enough, displaces their positioning, more importantly, causes them their downfall. 6-4, the score donut, and really won't be able to buy back up. And Neri, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just use a guardian. I have a
She's
I have
got
an
no
Empress.
shields.
Probably it's deja vu of what happened earlier. Another retake, please.
No! Why? She's got no
Yeah.
shields.
Yep. I'm the director. I said lights, camera, action, and she immediately takes the shots.
I can't watch this donut. You do it.
But it's
Spike planted.
now they have the sights. They've just taken down one. Kiki is down as well. So Inari has already pushed forward. She took a lot of that space away from Team Whiff and Ice Cream. She has good positioning because she can just relay that information out to her teammates, and Inari's just really getting all of these kills. Cherry Hips takes one with her, but now Polly has taken down the queen. Where is it
Time, though.
planted though?
Last player standing.
Time and the spike. They don't have it anymore. Ice Cream all the way from the middle. Just does enough.
Last
That's a
round
great
before the
wall,
switch.
actually, and a great position to plant. Polly was out there really turning over all of the rocks. Now, is it here? Nope. Is it here? Nope.
Yeah.
But it's actually behind that curtain, and she couldn't see it, and that's why when you're in a panic, you can't really see. You're in hyper focus. You have tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And at that point, we couldn't even see as well, like what Polly was aiming at that point. Taken advantage there by O'Reilly. This time, Marshall's brought up by T. She's been doing so well with the operator. Let's see if she uses that well. She's just taken down by Nong. Quick kills there. Oh, Polly is just waiting here behind that smoke.
Begins.
And she's just waiting. She sees an area, immediate headshot, the shutdown of the queen. If we take her down, then probably the rest will fall down with her. But no,
Oh.
Kyla and Kiki, they answer. And both of Team Whiff, they're so low. There's also that lockdown available for them, so all they need to do is just push
Last
forward.
player standing.
Cherry Hips, she's gonna get detained, but nobody knows
They
where
can't
she
find
is.
her. They think she's inside. Oh no! Oh no! I found ya. And that's gonna be a 6-6 at the end of the half. You know, you talked about the queen, but sometimes when the hive is disturbed, sometimes when the queen bee has been harassed, all the worker bees start to swarm you and sting you down, putting us at a 6-6. So, second half now.
You know what I loved about this scoreline? Yuna is not just delivering the kills, but also all of her utility has been on point. That's the reason why, in terms of her assists, she is at the top when it comes to her teammates. Cherry Hips as well. They've been delivering for the team, right? Utility on point when it comes to the retake. And Yuna with that Hunter's Fury dealing a lot of damage towards the team. So I have my eyes on them. It's just a matter of really ensuring that the combination of this attacking round can actually bear fruit when it comes to what they've already sowed. So 6-6, an even score, but at this point, since the sides have been swapped, will there be a difference in terms of the play style?
That's what I'm really curious about as well, given how both sides have the same agents. Definitely is a little bit more reserved, a little bit more conservative. Look at how they initially pushed up onto B, sensed a bit of danger, and then immediately rotated over. The rotations were really baited.
That's true. Where The hive is where the bees flock, but that's not gonna be the B site. It's gonna be the A site where they are. Mary takes down one, and Nong with a quick response of a kill, leaving Whiff with 2. Yuna gets Kiki. Now they have to circle back. Gonna be Nong to take the kill, and the last one here with lineups. Both of them are so low, they can't even touch it. There is that decay, but she managed to send.
Yeah, she gets it.
Yeah, she still gets it.
You just had to say it, don't it? You said that this is not the B site.
It's not the B site that they're going to, it's the A site.
Pretty soon we're gonna be talking about the B movie. Alright. No. Yeah, it's smart plays from both sides. But of course at the end of it, when you have that numbers advantage, just Cherry Hips, I'm really impressed by the lineups and the setups that she has, but they knew where she was. They knew exactly where to look for her, and they managed to take her down, of course, sticking the defuse as well. Buying up now, and Neri. Vandal, I love that Team Whiff are trying to fight back with this with a force buy of their own.
Let's see, I mean, in this long range encounters, of course the Vandal would prevail, but let's see if they get close enough. Probably the force buy will be effective for them. The Leer comes in. A little bit. Ice Cream actually delivers with a shock bolt kill. Damage has been done and headshots all the way. The cherry on top would be Kyla with a kill against Yuna. I think at this point here, they're on a rush. Anari's on a rush to try and finish this as quick as possible. Look at that energy from Anari.
It's like she's playing Aim Lab. She's just micro flicks all over the place. And it's sharp mechanics as well. The strafe shooting, everything is crisp. You know, if you have that shooting graph on, you would not see a single blue streak. And that's how Anari plays. Now on to the next. It's just still that straight up domination. Yuna! What is this? A nice counter. And all of a sudden, her head has got a Vandal available to pick up. They want it. They're going in for it. She gets it. A quick double and maybe even a third if Ice Cream gives it to her. She pings it out for her team, sensing that danger, that threat. Peeks out at the wrong time, though, thinking she would be able to play off the turret. And that's Ice Cream punishing her. Faith has to reload.
I can hear your breath.
I got scared.
You were trying to catch your breath there. Faith managed to reload, but Cherry Hips is gonna eliminate Kyla. Team Whiff, though, they're very low. Like, every time there would be a 2v2 or a 3v3, there's a lot of damage done here by O'Reilly. It would be Ice Cream's shock bolts. Like that.
Okay,
Faith is
okay.
so low. She dodges it.
Player standing.
Throws in another one, but
Enemy
Faith
remaining.
still gets the kill. 18 HP versus 12 HP. The first bullet to connect.
No!
Or even the Nano Swarm. Faith does her dirty with the Nano Swarm and gets a thrifty.
Oh my god! You got to have faith. We talked about the shock dart. We thought it was
One enemy remaining.
unlikely. I was gonna say impossible. I'll say unlikely. It's just narrowly avoided her. And then she had the perfect setup, the Nano Swarm, which was something that I think Yuna was not expecting. So now on to the next round, an impressive win.
Yeah, I think we couldn't see it as well, right? It was hidden well enough. And at this point, Inari doing Inari things, getting the first blood against Faith. But Nong here is going to be a threat. She also has that operator play. She's going to peek out. Yuna is one of the players in the server that could shut down Inari's aggression. Hats off to you, but can they answer back with Nong's
Spike down A.
operator? She has a
Oh!
new skin. It's so
I
pretty.
have the spike.
Wait, I got distracted. But Yuna
Last player standing.
tries to get the kill. And Cherry Hips has to retrieve the spike. What she doesn't know is Kyla is here behind her. She's
Damn.
glowing because of that recon bolt.
I agree with you, Donut. Look at that. It is a really pretty looking Erexis operator skin. Very alien-like. The colors, especially of this one. The black bullet trails. Why am I casting over a skin? But
Player standing.
at the end of it, it was true. This operator was creating a lot of presence. It was something that they were considering. But Yuna is a really controlled player, and that's the thing that we have to admire about her. A lot of these frags that she gets, she works off of information. She kind of anticipates or predicts what's about to happen next. She knew that there was a chance Inari might overheat and re-peak again.
That's why I think that's the reason why they were just waiting behind that step, behind that platform, because they knew that there is a possibility that Inari would push forward like this. She's already got in control, and it leaves a team of Whiff stuck in the middle.
Oh.
Now Inari's just treating this like it's deathmatch, viewing it's a third one. Well, we asked her to join a show match. What else do you expect of her?
You're right, Donut. She is giving us a show. I mean, look at the movement. Look at... She knows. And she's reading, and she's being careful when she's got a 30 bomb. Alexi, watch out. This might be a 40 by the end of the match. I don't know. I could be wrong. But she is trying to consider, okay, they've been hitting A for the past few rounds now. Maybe they're going to do it again. Maybe I can set up a flank route through mid. Let's check if it's clear. And that's what she does. This time, however, she goes straight for the duel against Paulie.
You should
And Paulie answers back in full. Trying to claw back into these rounds, into this map now. It's going to be Team Whiff. They have to answer to the firing squad, though, and Kiki will be able to take down a couple. Now Ice Queen comes back as well. She's got her Hunter's Fury. She's going to use it just to stop and slow down the spike plant. And a little bit more information as well. Nong has the operator, and she wants to chip them away. But here comes the Viper's Pit.
And Kyla as well behind Yuna. She gave that information, but Nong missed out.
Damn.
Now inside that
Winnable.
Viper's
Oh.
Pit, she's gonna use everything that she can. Utility, aim, but it's not gonna be enough. Nong
Yeah.
wins that duel from up top. Just unfortunate. When you said winnable, I did believe, because usually the Viper's Pit, I don't know where you read this, but when it comes to the win rate, when a Viper uses a Viper's Pit and that agent plays around it, it's quite high in terms of win rate. I'm not too sure. I think it was an official tournament.
I believe you. I think just the one differentiating factor in this circumstance was her pulling out the utility. You know, they saw where it came from, and they kind of deduced, figured out how to work around that. It was just a tough spot to be in as well, given the fact that she had fired off her weapon. So 11-7 now. We are standing up against match point. Inari, she's going for her duels. Of course, though, she gets answered back by T this time, of all people. Paulie with the Blade Storm. Nong still on an operator. I want to see if this could actually work out, but with the Toxic screen, I think it's a little bit less likely.
That's both toxin screens up top, so a little bit of blurred vision for both of these teams. It will block down the line of sight, but little Paulie is gonna get revealed once the
Spike
curtain
down, B.
closes.
Last
Now,
player
Kiki,
standing.
Ice Cream, you mentioned all about the bees, right? When now the queen is lost, they still hover around and take their honey, and I think they're going closer and closer to that honey pot. The win of getting 13, potentially 13-7, and winning this best of 3.
Oh my gosh, well, we could just end it right here. Not unless Whiff does something They know that there's an operator. They know that an area's somewhere. How will they play around it? They're gonna have to be careful, and that might...
Revealing area.
That just might cause some unintentional mistakes. Going aggressive in for that mid control, pushing up the tube, playing on top of the tube even. They might be able to break into the B site if they can do it quick enough.
It's true, nobody's guarding it. It's Yuna. Just perfectly waiting
Spike planted.
for that push out. They knew because of that information, a lot of scurry here in kitchen, then there would be a rotation, and Yuna is just really very patient. Nong takes down T. 6 HP, 7 HP though left. An Ice Quim. She's still healthy at this point, but little Polly, she has her eye set on her. First headshot and second one. Not doubting Polly at all. Polly, if she has her eyes on the prize, she's very motivated.
Very much
She's
so.
one of the top players when it comes to ACS, right? In our APAC Game Changers series.
Definitely. I believe you can find those stats. Like, she's one of the top few, definitely, on Wikipedia as well. And yeah, speaking of prize, there is that $1,000 winner take all prize, you know, for this showdown that all the players are kind of vying for. And also, just fun fact, you know, Polly, I don't know if it's a Latin thing, but it means like many, right? In one of those languages. I'm like completely talking out of my butt, but she gets many kills. 8 to 12, and they are trying to stay alive. Trying to find Indian trees as well. They do have some last-ditch efforts, some interesting strats to pull off, even when their backs are against the wall, and that's what you have to admire the most about them. Seeing how Polly's going in to create that space for her team, meanwhile the rest of them trying to get additional information as to where the rest of O really might be approaching from. The fact is, they are not committing to this, Donut.
They just know that there might be an opportunity here to rotate towards kitchen. They've done it in the previous round. They found their safe space here. And they know it's unmanned by O'Reilly. There would be Ice Cream here, but she's taken down. Nong is just waiting patiently just for her to push out. But Kyla has a good position. She might be able to give at least information that one is there and even confirms a kill. Now T. They actually don't know where she is, but Nong is creeping quietly. Sees that overheal of T. That tethering might be a disadvantage, but now she's healed up, back up, and she has no choice. She might just look for them. She doesn't have any time. It's gonna be Cherry Hips with the potential peek out. She has it to have. And T peeks out, gets a kill. Nong is down, and no 13 just yet. They're fighting. They're fighting hard.
Really hard. And they have to keep this up for, well, several more rounds. They might be able to do it, especially if they can break Team O'Reilly's economy. And this is just might be what's going to happen in the next round, considering that they've lost the past two. Oh, okay. If they can survive for one more, that's dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. And if ever Whiff actually wins this, then O'Reilly doesn't have enough to buy.
That recon just gave them the green light that A is completely empty.
You should
and now the B's have actually flocked together here in the B sites. Neri takes down the first kill. Even with that Viper spit, Neri takes down the second one. Polly does get a kill against Ice Cream, but she just has to play back because of that lockdown. Yuna is here. One of the first few that we've seen to consistently take down an Neri.
T and Cherry Hips, and all that time where we were thinking about the fight against an Neri, T just took that spike and like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm on the A site. I'm getting the spike down. Cherry is lurking. Yuna is lurking. They're trying to stop it. They couldn't quite thin down the numbers even further. So it's up to Cherry Hips with her post-plant lineups when T cannot connect the shots. This is very dangerous now. She gets the first one and then puts up the poison cloud. Kyla has some of her own to play with too, but she's down so low thanks to the decay. Cherry just playing with the time, biding on the time. Who's in closer, sends out the first one. Kyla swings and Cherry instantly swaps to her Vandal, holds down left click, and sprays and prays.
I mean, that was such a way to end the round, because if you have a Viper against Viper, sometimes the exchange of utilities could be annoying. I mean, when you look at that, right? When she opened up her poison cloud, basically, it was 2. And it was kind of hard to see from there, wherever your opponent will be. And at that point, she was just quicker to pull the trigger. That quick switch as well was smart of her. And Kiki's first kill would be none other than Lil Polly. So no... Well, at least second entry is down as well. Ice Cream and Neri, they're doing the work. They want to try and finish them.
Player standing.
But now it's just down to Cherry Hips, the one who clutched earlier. Can she clutch again?
I don't think she's gonna have to play it so safe, but look at this, the lockdown. Kyla right behind her. She's completely sandwiched. She's just holding the angle and waiting, but Kyla spots her shoulder first. What is this crouch peek? 13-10, and oh really have managed to find that last win that they were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, that's also the perfect revenge kill, right? You beat me in a clutch, but I beat you in the game. That's the greatest revenge kill that she could ever get. And even looking at the scoreboard, like, Kyla is second frag for the team. During the defense, I think she shined the most, but all of her utilities, like the way that she pulled up the curtain so that there's safe passage for them on towards the site, that's amazing for Kyla. Nong as well with all of that operator kills, but I think they noticed that in terms of economy, it wasn't that healthy. So they swapped back to using the Vandal.
Yeah. Still though, it's just looking at all of these numbers at the end of the scoreboard now. 12 assists, 11 from Kyla. And this is impressive for all of these girls, all of these teams. And just to stoke the flames a little bit, add some wood to the fire. Aneri did not beat Alexi's kills today. Alexi got 35, and I think Alexi got a lot closer to 40 than Aneri did. Just throwing that out there. Make do with that information what you will.
And the whole of the showdown, I think the most kills would be still Alexi, right? With 39?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So Aneri,
a little bit closer, right? I mean, you have this online banter. Maybe we can also do that in the broadcast, but it's going to be initiated by both of us. We're so sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. It's just jokes. It's just jokes. She's going to be like, oh, really? You're going to say that? We'll find out, whoever wins the grand final tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen 2 games. Yesterday, it was a clean sweep. 2 of the series that we've casted was both 2-0. This time, there was a fight in Polly's team, right? Team Whiff. They didn't whiff at all. Especially during the second map. They won Fracture because of how methodic their plays are. Even as a newly formed team, right? They just formed this team because of this show match. Yep. But Fracture for them was a breeze.
The one name keeps sticking out to me, and that's Yuna. A lot of these rounds, especially when she's playing as Sova right now on Icebox, she is so controlled. Every single decision is measured. And sometimes she is the one who counters Aneri. Sometimes it's T who has the aggression, that fire inside of her just to push out a lot of these spaces on the map.
Yeah, and I think speaking of Yuna, we were talking about how consistent she was in trying to shut down her opponents. I mean, specifically in area. I mean, when it comes to the stats, I'm looking forward to seeing the actual stat. Okay, how many kills did you get against Inari? Because at least that's also something that you can say to your friends, like, I actually killed Inari a couple of times during the show.
Yes,
match.
clip those moments, you know, post it everywhere, put it up on Twitter, and just, I don't know, wear it like a badge. Be proud of it. You got to kill Inari.
Yeah.
But
And
still,
you know, we were talking about that online banter against Alexi and Inari, and it is gonna happen.
Yes!
Because
Yes!
tomorrow, in this round robin best of threes, the one that came out on top would be Baby Girl. And oh, really?
I really love, again, if you haven't followed or subscribed, smash that like button for any of the FSL social media channels, whether it's Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Now they got TikTok. Just scroll down if you're watching on Twitch. The panels are all there. Please do, because you're missing out on so much. I'm thinking about that video that Alexi made, and you can tell she's giggling with excitement. She's just you should join my team because I can beat all of the team captains, especially Inari. And you can see that glint in her eye. I love it. And then Inari's response. Again, just go watch those. It's the best.
Yeah, it's the rivalry for 2023 online and even in the arena here in Valorant. So I'm looking forward to see what will happen tomorrow. This is gonna be it. The best of threes are done. The round robin is done, and we're looking forward to the final match for tomorrow. Again, this has been me, Donut, with me as Quack. We'll see you again, same time.